All right, but now for this morning's headline story. More Republican Congress members are beginning to withdraw their support from GOP candidate Donald Trump. 35 Congress members have now said that they will not vote for him, while others demand that he drop out of the race. This backlash came after a 2005 video surfaced of Donald Trump bragging to Billy Bush in an Access Hollywood bus of how he had sexually assaulted women. Yesterday, however, Trump claimed that this drop in support is due to GOP leaders like Paul Ryan not supporting him.
The Republican nominee has a massive disadvantage. And especially when you have the leaders not putting their weight behind the people.
Trump's support has dropped significantly since the release of the video and the second presidential debate. A new Real Clear Politics poll shows Hillary Clinton leading Trump with 48% to 42%. Claire, could this be the beginning of the end for Donald Trump's campaign?
I think so. I think that people are starting to realize that maybe he's not fit to be a presidential candidate.
Well, we'll have to see come a few weeks. But now for more news from around the world, we go to news correspondent Moses Small.
Thanks, guys. There's always a lot going on, and here is what's in the news this morning. Hurricane Matthew swept through the Caribbean last week with winds up to 145 miles per hour, and the damage to Haiti was especially severe. There are an estimated 900 deceased and 500,000 stranded. There's widespread flooding and scares about waterborne disease in Haiti, and need is currently outpacing humanitarian aid. In the United States, the effects are less severe but still devastating. There's flooding in Florida and nearby states and power outages in North Carolina. There are about 24 reported fatalities in the U.S., but over 1,000 have been rescued so far. Florida has moved its voter registration day to October 18th to give more time for those who have been affected. The Toyota Prius was recalled globally on Wednesday. The 2016 and 2017 models have a defect in the parking brake, which led Toyota to pull over 300,000 of them starting this week. Toyota has made a statement clarifying the issue that cars may slide away if left with the ignition on and not in park. This would be Toyota's second major recall in effect this year, as other 2008 and 2012 Toyotas have had issues with airbags. In this most recent recall, owners of the cars will be notified next month, and the repairs for the brakes will be free. In an op-ed column in CNN this weekend, President Obama made a goal to send humans to Mars by the 2030s. The White House is reaching out to private companies like SpaceX and Boeing to design a chamber that can house humans on Mars for extended amounts of time. Obama first made this plan in 2010, and it hasn't gotten much attention since, but NASA has still been working on this project. There are questions as to whether the U.S. has the funding to do this or can even send people to Mars in that time frame. No specific plans or estimates of costs have been given yet, but Obama remains optimistic in his long-term goal to put the first humans on Mars. Closer to home, 2 custodians and a professor from Emerson College are taking a trip around the country to share their experiences as immigrant workers. Custodians Mario Ernesto Osorio and Maria Portillo, along with writing, literature, and publishing professor Tamara Marco, will be leaving on Saturday morning on a trip from Boston to San Diego. They're calling it Proyecto Carrito, which translates to Project Trolley. The project started as a weekly writing class that grew into a multilingual writing course where students write in whichever language they know best. The group will make stops at universities across the country. Their first trip was about 2 years ago, and the goal on their site is to cross physical, social, emotional, and institutional borders. That's all the news I have for you today. Sean and Claire, back to you.
Thanks so much, Moses. Do you think that these employees of Emerson could bring a new perspective back to Emerson when they come back?
I think they can. A lot of what they spoke about in the site was a little-known narrative of the immigrant worker, of the immigrant student, and if they're going around the country spreading that message, I'm for certain that they can definitely make some change.
I think so too. Thanks, Moses.
Thank you.
And now for a weather update for you guys. Today is going to be a little drizzly and wet with a 20% chance of participation and a high of 66. Tonight it's going to be pretty windy and rainy, so it's going to be a good night to stay in with some Netflix. Friday it will be sunny again, but temperatures are going to be a little lower with highs in the 50s during the day and in the low 40s at night. This weekend is going to be picturesque fall weather with highs in the low 60s and lows in the mid 40s both nights.